What's up, YouTube Revolution? ZombfectedGaming349 at your fingertips. So recently, a few days ago, there was this news about the Saints Row Reboot that came out. Apparently, it's saying, leaked development details reveal Saints Row 2022 was originally Saints Row Cinco before corporate overhaul. So basically, guys, I actually knew about this before and stuff. A YouTuber known as MrSaintsGodzilla had said that Saints Row, before the Saints Row 2022 reboot was revealed, he said that Saints Row is back. This is going to be better than Saints Row the Third. It was going to be more in line of being more like the classic Saints Row games, like Saints Row 1 and 2 before the Third, actually. Apparently, it was supposed to be like a mix of, like, a slight bit of Saints Row the Third, but it was going to be a lot more of what Saints Row 1 and 2 is going to be more like. It's going to be heavily gangster related and stuff.
2080.
MrSaintsGodzilla was under NDA for quite a long time, even after the closure of Volition and stuff. Like, I can't believe he is under NDA for that long, and finally the NDA was finally broken finally now. And I know that MrSaintsGodzilla had made a YouTube video about what he had saw back in apparently it was 2019 that he saw. But anyways, guys, let's read some of this. It says, leaked insider reports reveal Saints Row 2022 was originally developed as Saints Row Cinco, a direct sequel packed with fan favorite characters and features before THQ Nordic forced a controversial reboot. So yeah, the higher ups, the corporates, the guys in the suits, they're the ones that actually screwed the fifth Saints Row game in favor of making the fifth game a reboot and stuff. That's what frickin' happened, of course. So, anyways, I actually, before we read this and stuff, I covered the Saints Row Reboot at release and stuff. I actually was open to the game. I actually wanted to actually play it because I was wanting a new Saints Row game that wasn't like Saints Row 4 with aliens and all that kind of stuff. So I was actually really excited at the time to play Saints Row Reboot. I didn't care about the story or anything like that, but like the map of Santo Eliso, I actually liked the map Santo Eliso, but I could definitely tell that the Santo Eliso map was definitely not finished in certain parts. The game was buggy at times and all that kind of stuff. Even today, the game is still kind of buggy too, guys. But like, yeah, it's unfortunate what had happened and stuff with that game. But I actually did enjoy some of the gameplay elements. The customization was really good in that game, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's see this. New leaks have revealed that Saints Row 2022, the controversial reboot of Volition's iconic franchise, was never meant to be a reboot at all. According to insider reports from Synth Potato, and corroborated with a longtime community figure, MrSaintsGodzilla21, the game was originally developed as Saints Row Cinco, a direct sequel to Saints Row the Third, that would have brought back fan-favorite characters, darker tones, and ambitious new features. Insiders claim the project codenamed Saints Row Cinco was designed to recapture the gritty, chaotic energy of Saints Row 2 while blending in the over-the-top humor of the third. Characters like Johnny Gat were set to return, with even his infamous death being retconned. The Saints would leave Steelport behind to conquer Santo Eliso, with storylines centering on revenge against Dex, one of the series' most disliked characters. So yeah, we would have actually gotten conclusion on Dex, actually, which was a character from Saints Row 1 that betrayed the Saints. And also, he was mentioned in Saints Row 2 as well, actually, as a villain as well, but like an off-screen villain. He was in cahoots with the Altor Corporation. That's what he was. And so we were actually supposed to eventually confront him. That was stupid how they had to like cut that and stuff, of course. Like, man, I would have loved this game actually. But I understand stuff, you know, stupid corporate and stuff had to freaking force all this crap down Volition's throat. Anyways, scrapped features included a customizable city district system, a proclamation mechanic letting players enforce laws into Santo Eliso, full crib and furniture customization, a new game plus mode with cheats to unlock tied to a giant Professor Genki pyramid, So that means that the cheats would have been hidden and stuff. Probably it would have been like tied to like some sort of Professor Genki like thing and stuff. That would have been interesting actually, especially like Genki and in Santo Eliso. So yeah, Santo Eliso was supposed to be the map the entire time. That I definitely gotta admit, this Santo Eliso is better than Steelport, definitely. I don't know about Stillwater, but like Stillwater had like so much depth to it. There's so many interiors in Saints Row 2 and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, another part here, it says recorded dialogue from Pierce's voice actor confirming the project's advanced stage. So apparently the actor for Pierce had recorded lines and stuff actually for this game. And I really wonder how the actor for Pierce felt actually when this all was cut. I'm sure he was probably pretty pissed off about this actually. He probably was, because I like that actor. Pierce, the actor for Pierce Washington, I know he showed up in Dead Rising 3 as well actually, and I think he also showed up in the game Mafia 3 as well too. So yeah, he was a good actor and stuff. I can't believe they had to let the Pierce's voice actor go and stuff in favor of like Steve Urkel character in the game, obviously. And then it says, from Since Potato, we have confirmation that Saints Row 2022 is originally going to be Saints Row 5. But yeah, Cinco means, of course, 5 in Spanish. So the game was going to have heavily Spanish themes, similar to Saints Row Reboot. Santo Eliso is a New Mexico type area, of course. It's a, I think it is based in, I think, yeah, it is based in New Mexico. Yes, it is Santo Eliso. But let's see, the turning point came after THQ Nordic acquired Koch Media and its subsidiary Deep Silver in 2018 for 121 million euros. According to the leaks, THQ Nordic executives rejected Cinco's original story, forcing Volition to pivot into a full reboot. Executives allegedly banned swearing in an M-rated game, removed too violent mechanics like body shields, and introduced the heavily criticized student loans plotline. Oh my god, man, that's so stupid, man. I can't believe that crap and stuff. Like, these idiots, these higher-ups and stuff should know this is an open-world freaking crime game and stuff. It's supposed to be a criminal-like game. It's supposed to be violent. There's going to be a lot of swearing in those type of games. All that kind of stuff. That's BS, honestly. That is, like, just so stupid how, like, they would do something like this. This just goes to show you and stuff, guys. Political correctness is ruining a lot of things and stuff. They are. They're blaming too much violence in real life on video games, and they're just blinded by what real life violence comes from. It does not come from video games, you freaking dumbass freaking politicians out there. Sorry to say that and stuff, but like, these dumbass politicians are in cahoots with these higher ups and stuff, these stupid guys in the suits and stuff, these freaking dumbass corporates. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be swearing a little bit in this video. It's kind of makes me mad, actually, I gotta admit, because I freaking hate political correctness, especially left wing political correctness. This may get a little bit political, guys, but we have to spill the beans, guys. We have to spill the beans on these dumbasses up in the corporates and stuff, guys. Like, I feel really bad for Volition and stuff. These guys costed their company to shut down. They thought that this would actually help fix the game, but no. People, of course, did not want that and stuff. Man, it's like Volition got turned into a puppet, guys. They got turned into a puppet. Remember when Saints Row 2022 came out and stuff? And I think that they were forcing Volition to actually say stuff like this, like, calling the people terrorists, apparently, for saying that the game is bad. Like, who says that crap and stuff, calling them terrorists and stuff? We were all just wanting a game that we really wanted. We wanted a good game that would actually resemble an older game in the franchise. And as video games go on, video games are supposed to evolve. They're not supposed to devolve. That's what they're not supposed to do. This is one of the reasons to why the PlayStation 5 generation, guys, has been one of the most disappointing gaming generations ever, guys. If the PS2 and the PS3 generation can do better than the PS4 and the PS5, like, what the hell, guys? We are evolving backwards in gaming. But yet again, we are evolving forwards in gaming. Graphical enhancements, all that kind of stuff are starting to look good. But sometimes there are games back in the older generations that are having better details in their games than newer games, guys, which is just insane to think about. Like, for example, Saints Row 2 had way more interiors than Saints Row the Third. It had way more interiors than Saints Row 4, and it had way more interiors than even Saints Row Reboot as well. So yeah, guys, this is absolutely just crazy, guys, how to think about this. And it says this, even a later draft that kept the original Saints was scripted, suggesting a corporate push toward a safer, less edgy direction. Analysts point to a 15% decline in M-rated game sales since 2015 as possible motivation for this change, according to a 2023 ESA report. The revelations have reignited frustration in the Saints Row community. Fans argued that the reboot's failure wasn't the fault of Volition, but rather THQ Nordic's executives meddling. Comments across social media echo Synth Potato's statement. Knowing the devs really set out to make a game we'd love, only for some execs with no clue to shut it down is heartbreaking. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Like, MrSaintsGodzilla was a really reputable and just really good Saints Row YouTuber. I don't think he would ever lie about how, like, the Saints Row that we should have gotten before the reboot and stuff. What, like, a lot of people actually said, "Oh, you MrSaintsGodzilla, you're a liar and stuff. This is a bad game." Well, and then of course he was put under NDA for a long time. That NDA was so stupid and stuff. I've seen so much people harass him and stuff by saying that like he was a liar. That whole NDA, honestly, to be honest, was just so unnecessary and stuff. Like, it was a game that was canceled and stuff. Why be under NDA for a game that's canceled and stuff? Like, that makes honestly no sense to me at all. This should have came out a few years ago, right when the game released. I think that this should have just came out. Like, this NDA was just stupid and stuff. Like, this is so undemocratic, or this is a violation to democracy and stuff, I would say. Like, what these execs are doing and stuff. Like, all this NDA stuff on like MrSaintsGodzilla, silencing the the great stuff that Volition was originally cooking up, all this kind of stuff. This is so anti-American, guys. This is almost like a dictatorship, to be honest. It's like the stupid political correctness really screwed this game over. And like I said, but I do want to actually come back to this and stuff, what I'm talking about. Actually, I want to read the rest of this, though, too, guys. So it says, studies back up these concerns. A 2021 USC report linked 60% of studio closures to publisher overreach, aligning with Volition's fate. After Saints Row 2022 released on August 23rd, 2022 to poor reception, Volition was officially closed on August 31st of 2023 as a part of Embracer Group's restructuring. With Volition shuttered and the Saints Row IP now under Playon, I don't know how to pronounce that word, the franchise's future remains uncertain. The leaked details suggest fans narrowly missed out on a game that could have honored the series' legacy. Saints Row Cinco, a darker, chaotic sequel buried by corporate decisions. For now, the series sits in limbo, with fans left to wonder what could have been. So yeah, guys, this crap with the higher-ups, this stuff should have been taken to court, honestly. To be honest, in the First Amendment rights of America, I'm not American or anything, but I know that the First Amendment and stuff, it defends freedom of speech, it defends parody, all that kind of stuff. And it defends against, censorship, against unfair, things that are unfair, for example. Like, there's so many violent movies out there that are like a lot of video games, movies, all that kind of stuff. Even today, we still have some extremely violent video games. More violent than even some video games from back then and stuff. And they were able to get passed and actually released. And this is definitely an example of wannabe dictators and stuff. These stupid higher-up corporate assholes. Sorry to say, guys. Like, seriously. It's just... Ah, man, I am like just so pissed with this crap. Actually, like I could have had like such an amazing like channel with this game. Actually, guys, like the Saints Row Cinco game. I could have been covering it today. The game could have sold millions upon millions. So many people that wanted GTA 6 and stuff, or just they just wanted to play another game that's like GTA before GTA 6. They could have been like, okay, let's stop playing GTA Online and GTA 5. Let's play this new Saints Row Cinco game. This game would have been freaking amazing, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, Volition should have actually took this up in court, actually. Even if it didn't lead to anywhere, they could have actually done that. Instead of actually being like, no, we're not going to bury our work alive. They literally, the corporate crap, what they basically did is they went on all over all of their computer screens, all their in the development studio, took a big giant turd on all their crap. That's basically what the corporate has done. They could have actually took the higher ups to court because this is unfair, completely unfair. This is so anti-American, this type of stuff that they're doing. So yeah, the First Amendment rights probably would have defended this and stuff. I know that the higher ups are the bosses and stuff, but you are legally allowed to take your bosses to court if they treat you unfairly, they shit on your work, excuse my language, stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. I really want to bring up an example. This is a video game franchise that I cover a lot. The Dying Light franchise. The creators of the Dying Light franchise are Techland and stuff. Techland actually went through problems with higher ups before they went independent in 2018 when they were making Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Techland used to work for Ubisoft when they made the Call of Juarez franchise. Techland was forced to make a modern-day Call of Juarez game, and Ubisoft had rushed them out, and they weren't able to like make the story good for that game, unfortunately, because Techland was forced by Ubisoft to get that out, and not only that too, but the exact same year in 2011 when Call of Juarez: The Cartel had come out, and also Dead Island was the first Dead Island game was going to come out as well too. Deep Silver was forcing Techland to hurry up and get this game out by the holiday season of 2011. And guess what? That game ended up being super glitchy, and it didn't end up being the greatest game that people really wanted it to be, because the reveal trailer for Dead Island 1 was actually really hyped up. The first trailer ever. People said, holy crap, this is probably going to be a really good game. When they get it, it didn't end up being a good game at release. And yeah, it was not a good time for Techland, and Techland decided to part ways with their publishers and stuff. It took many years for them to become independent. Techland had become independent by 2018, and Techland Publishing had been born around that point in 2018. So Techland ended up being an independent company. Techland makes a really violent game like the Dying Light series. A lot of people even say, holy crap, how was this game able to release of how violent it is? There's actually a lot of people who actually say that Dying Light is too violent of a game to be on video game consoles. That's what actually some people say. And so yeah, Techland, I think they are entirely against censorship. Techland is a Polish company. They're not an American company. So I don't know how the rights work in Poland or anything like that, but Volition, you are an American company and stuff. You could have taken the higher-ups to court to defend your work and all that kind of stuff. Techland had defended their work and all that kind of stuff, what they wanted to make. So, yeah, Volition should have been like, this is the Saints Row that we wanted to make. And with Techland, I want to bring this up as well, too. Techland wanted to make the first Dead Island game a serious game, actually. A dark and gritty, serious, scary game. Dead Island 1 was not scary, really, to me. It wasn't. It had some goofy themes to it. Mostly quirky, goofy themes. The Dying Light games actually are taken way more serious and stuff. And that's what Techland wanted for Dead Island 1. But you know what Deep Silver was like? Deep Silver was like, no. We want you to make this game quirky, super silly, and all that kind of stuff. That's basically what it is. I know that the second Dead Island game that was not created by Techland, they're actually under Deep Silver, just like Saints Row is, actually. And it seems like, literally, the story for that game, Dead Island 2, is just as cringe as the Saints Row Reboot. This just goes to show you and stuff. These are the same higher-ups and stuff that forced the Dead Island 2 to be really goofy like this. But then again, look how gory and violent Dead Island 2 is. Dead Island 2 was a really gory, very brutal and violent game, actually. Like, they had this thing called the flesh system and stuff. You could literally like tear an entire jaw right off a zombie. Similar in the Dying Light games too, but like that makes no sense and stuff. Those games are really violent and stuff. The Dead Island games, of course, especially the second game. The graphics of Dead Island 2 are really good. But how is this too violent for the Saints Row Cinco game? Why was that too violent? Like this makes no sense. These higher ups are just, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I guess maybe they think that it's okay to commit as much violence against the zombie and stuff, but not like in the criminal genre, like something like Grand Theft Auto or something. Like I don't know what they were thinking or anything like that. But yeah, Volition, if they've done exactly potentially what Techland had done, they could have actually formed Volition Publishing, and Volition having independent rights over the Saints Row franchise, just like all the creative decisions that Techland has over the Dying Light franchise. That would have been just, oh man, chef's kiss to that. Like that would have been just amazing, guys. Like we would have had an amazing Grand Theft Auto competitor again if Volition had done what Techland had done by becoming independent. But no, Volition decided, they were like, we're going to be silenced, we're going to be oppressed by these wannabe dictators, corporate execs in the suits and stuff, and we're not going to take this to court. I actually don't even know if they did take it to court or anything like that, but this should have been taken to court as a violation of the First Amendment. It definitely should have. Because with all the decisions that Techland pretty much wanted to make with their games, like I said, Ubisoft and of course Deep Silver did not agree with Techland on what Techland wanted to make, and that's one of the reasons to why I say that Techland has to be one of the best gaming companies out there with in terms of like fan reception and all that kind of stuff. Like they listen to fans so good and stuff. I don't know much other companies out there that listen to fans that good as Techland. Techland is doing a really great job with the upcoming Dying Light the Beast. That game is coming out later this month, and there's so much people that said they wanted Crane back and all that kind of stuff. He's the main character of Dying Light 1. People wanted Crane back. A lot of people wanted the original cast of the Saints Row franchise back, like Pierce and Shandy and Johnny Gat, for example. They wanted those people back. And like I said again, if Volition was independent, they had Volition Publishing, they probably would have made this game. This game probably would have happened. But I guarantee you, it probably wouldn't have come out anytime soon. It probably would have came out after GTA 6. I understand it's probably better late than never than giving us something that was rushed out and turned into complete crap and shitting on your entire story of a game. That's basically what happened and stuff. So yeah, it probably would have taken a long time. Courts, when it comes to court, it takes years with a case sometimes. It takes a really long time. And yeah, if of course Volition had the best lawyers ever, if they had all those really good lawyers, they probably would have been able to be like, yeah, we could have formed our own publishing company, and I would have loved that. I think it would have been the right decision. They may have not have probably would have been able to like make another game for a long time, but it's worth it becoming your own publisher later than never and becoming canceled and stuff completely. Like they literally became canceled and stuff by the fans. A lot of fans and stuff hated Volition because they didn't know the bigger picture, what was happening behind those doors. And yeah, so pretty much, yeah, rest in peace to Volition and stuff. I know it happened back in 2023, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I don't know what else to say. This is a rant that actually really pisses me off, guys. It's something that should have been, but it didn't. But anyways, guys, if you're a fan of the Saints Row franchise, you're a fan of the Dying Light franchise, all the video games I cover, consider subscribing to the channel. And ding that bell icon really hard so I can always stay within fast reach of your fingertips when new uploads arrive. ZombfectedGaming349 over and out.
Zombfected.